It is a challenging time with the reforms in the disability sector, aged care, as well as healthcare sectors. But it is an incredible profession. You can work in primary care, tertiary care, across aged care, disability, and have true impact. You have the opportunity to work with multidisciplinary teams, work with individuals, their families, and their communities. I would really urge not to get too caught up in the reform sector. Lean into the professional association, lean into OT Australia, who are driving incredible opportunities for learning, growth, clinical and quality improvement. We're driving policy and advocacy work as well. It is such an incredible time to be working in the health, disability and aged care sector. I'm Michelle Oliver, Chief Occupational Therapist at Occupational Therapy Australia. I sit in a national role representing our profession at our peak professional association. On a day-to-day basis, I'm responsible for our professional practice team, our learning and development team, and our policy and advocacy team. Occupational Therapy Australia is the peak professional association representing the interests of occupational therapists. There are now over 34,000 registered occupational therapists in Australia, and at OT Australia we represent the profession from a professional practice perspective, but also the policy and advocacy perspective. We support the growth and we drive change and innovation in the profession. My career started off working in the public mental health sector in South Australia, and I stayed working in the northern suburbs of Adelaide in public mental health for many years. Probably the turning point for me was COVID. For a lot of people, COVID certainly gave them an opportunity to stop and think and explore different ways of working, but also what I guess was important to me and important to my family and my career moving forward. This, I guess, was a time that OT Australia presented an opportunity for me to step into a divisional manager role. So I left clinical practice at that point and stepped into a full-time position at OT Australia approximately 4 years ago. And since then, I've had the opportunity to lead mental health strategy. So obviously my clinical background being in mental health, that was a big passion piece for me. And then since then, I have had the opportunity to step into a newly formed role at OT Australia, which is Chief Occupational Therapist. What I enjoy most about the work that I do is that I have the privilege of representing our profession. I have the privilege of being able to speak to those who influence policy, those who form or design or develop services. I also have the opportunity to lead an incredible OT team, a policy and advocacy team and a learning and development team who are all dedicated to improving outcomes for occupational therapists and improving the systems and the sector in which we work in. I've been involved in a number of projects at my time at Occupational Therapy Australia. Probably one that I'm most proud of is leading our mental health strategy, but more recently I have had the opportunity to guide and drive the workforce development plan, which was a deep dive project the association embarked on back in 2023. Since then, we've formed a really comprehensive plan to support the occupational therapy profession. It really identifies what are the biggest barriers, but also where the greatest opportunities are as our profession continues to grow and the sectors in which we work in continue to change. Navigating that space is certainly a big challenge, but for us at OT Australia, we do have the opportunity to really support our profession to grow and evolve and meet the needs of the community and ensure that we're working to best practice. In the past 5 to 10 years, the occupational therapy profession has grown significantly. The demands in the private sector have changed dramatically, and this really places a great opportunity for our profession, but it also creates some challenges and risks for our profession as well. So we see a completely changed landscape for our early career practitioners to navigate. What used to be a pathway generally through into the public health or disability or aged care sector has really dramatically changed since the introduction of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. This provides great opportunities for our profession, but it also presents the opportunity, but also the challenge for us to need to raise awareness around the role and scope of occupational therapy. Most people don't really understand what occupational therapists do unless they have had their own personal experience. So at OT Australia, we're really focused on building community awareness, but also sector and broadly the health disability sector awareness of occupational therapy scope and practice. OT is a wonderful profession. It's such a broad profession and creates so many opportunities to have impact on individual lives, but also communities. The advice I would give at an early career practitioner or anyone looking to pursue a career as an occupational therapist, I would say give it a go. It's such a rewarding profession. It is a challenging time with the reforms in the disability sector, aged care, as well as healthcare sectors. But it is an incredible profession. You can work in primary care, tertiary care, across aged care, disability, and have true impact. You have the opportunity to work with multidisciplinary teams, work with individuals, their families, and their communities. I would really urge not to get too caught up in the reform sector. Lean into the professional association, lean into OT Australia, who are driving incredible opportunities for learning, growth, clinical and quality improvement. We're driving policy and advocacy work as well. It is such an incredible time to be working in the health, disability and aged care sector. Work keeps me pretty busy, but so does my family life. I have 3 small children, and probably most of my time outside of work is spent with my family. They're very active children and very engaged in their sporting activities. And that's probably my most favourite thing to do, is standing on the sideline of a soccer game, a footy game or a netball game on the weekend.